Hello, welcome to the X-Culture Open House. I hope you guys have a great time today. And my name is Rafael Tamashiro. I'm actually from Brazil, and I'm the X-Culture Academy coordinator, okay? Nice to meet you, and I hope you guys have fun. Today we have Dr. Vaz, the director and founder of X-Culture. So I will let him speak a little bit.
How many seconds do I have, Rafael?
You have quite time, so feel free to
Well, good morning, everyone from Seattle, where I am at the X-Culture Research Hackathon. So there are 12 professors here who are on campus of the University of Seattle. And so we've been doing research for about 5 days now, nonstop from early in the morning till late at night. And so we're here also for the Academy of Management conference. Attended usually by about 10,000 professors. So we're a little droplet in the big sea. So, yeah, so welcome from Seattle. Now, a little bit about X-Culture, just those of you who don't know much about it. So the original idea for X-Culture came from the need to improve our teaching of international business courses. So I'm an international business professor. And 12 years ago, when we started X-Culture, I would find myself in a situation where I would be standing in front of the classroom and trying to explain to my students that doing business with, for example, Ukrainians or Chinese or Koreans is different than doing business with Americans. And my students would not fully understand me because something's just not possible to be taught in a classroom or through a textbook. You have to have that experience. Just like you cannot learn how to swim on a football field, you have to get in the water. So you have to have international experience to understand international business. And so that was at that time that with my wonderful colleagues, other international business professors, we decided to create X-Culture where we would take students from different countries, put them in international teams, and give them a task to work on so that as they perform that task, they would deal with time zone differences, cultural differences, institutional differences. And by doing so, they would experience in real life what we are trying to teach them in the classroom. And so since then, many wonderful things happened. Some of them are completely sort of relevant to you here. So first, in the first year or two, we would give students a hypothetical task to work on. So such as if you had $1 million, what kind of company would you start? Would you write a business plan for that company? Things like that. But then in 2013, one of our professors was doing a consulting project with Mercedes-Benz, and they were brainstorming different ideas for advertisement. And so they thought maybe it would be a good idea to invite the many X-Culture students to think about solutions for those problems. And so at that time, we must have had about 1,000 students every semester. Now we have, like, for example, last semester, we had something like 6,000 students from 70 countries in 180, 190 universities. So it's a very large international project. And so those clients, those people at the Mercedes-Benz consulting project, they thought that the many students around the world might be able to come up with some ideas that would be of interest and value to Mercedes. So they called me. I thought it would be a good idea. We worked together, and it actually worked very well. So they were very happy with the solutions that the students provided. A lot of brains, you know, as they say, 2 heads are better than 1. Well, 2,000 heads are better than 2. And so since then, we've made one big change to the X-Culture design, namely, there are real companies that come to us with real life problems. And so our students, all 6,000, 7,000 of them, are thinking and solving those problems as they're learning international business. Now, last semester, we had, if I remember correctly, 16 client companies. And so that's a large collection. Each company comes from a different industry, from a different country. So for you as trainees, you can choose whichever client you want, whichever one you think you can help most. So this way, students were gaining 2 things. 1, the international experience, and 2, the business experience. Then another interesting development happened, which is relevant to this presentation. And that is first, the professors were asking us from almost the very beginning that if their children can participate in the project. I have a teenager son or teenage daughter, 16 years old, will be going to college soon, very smart, best school, best grades, very active outside the school. Can he or she participate in X-Culture so that it can go on resume, so that it's new experience, so that the kid is more prepared for college and looks more attractive to the admissions committee and has a better chance of getting a stipend. And at the same time, also a lot of people who are friends or were friends with our students in X-Culture, but who were not students themselves, would come to us and also ask if they can participate. So they would say, I'm an employee at this company, XYZ, maybe even a middle level manager. I will be applying for a promotion or I will be looking for a new job, but I'm not a student at one of the X-Culture universities. And so I cannot participate sort of the normal way as part of a university. Can I apply individually? And so we would say no to both groups for a long time. So we thought, well, we are designed for business students at business schools with professors. We didn't know what to do with those younger teenagers, pre-college teens. We didn't know what to do with the non-student professionals, adults. So they're sort of different. But then at some point, maybe 5-6 years ago, we thought, you know what, maybe let's try and see what happens. And so the first time we did it, we had a very small group of children of the professors and a very small group of professionals, just to see if it works for other populations. And it actually worked pretty well. So since then, we've been experimenting with the model, with the design. So we, for example, discovered that it's best to provide additional training to the non-student participants. So the business students at universities, they have a business courses, international business course, but also they take marketing, management, other courses. They have a professor who provides guidance, so they come in prepared. Whereas the non-student participants, professionals or teenagers, it seems like it works better when they get additional training. So now you would have 4 weeks of training in international business, in teamwork, in online collaboration tools, things that you would need to work in a global virtual team. We also provide all kinds of additional content for these non-student participants. So for students, it's part of the course. And so it's kind of more serious. It's all about the task. So for the non-student participants, our wonderful coaches and professors provide some serious additional things, like there would be a webinar almost every week on career development, on new tools in international business, on all kinds of things that might be useful for your career, such as how to use online communication tools, different business models, guest speakers that talk about finance, about globalization, whatever the topic might be. But they also do a lot of fun things. So especially for the kids, they do virtual picnics, country tours. They even did like virtual gym where they all did exercise together. So kind of all kinds of interesting, fun stuff that we normally do not offer to our business students. And so that's where we are now. So we saw some interesting changes during COVID when the world finally learned how to use Zoom and Google Docs and Google Drive. So it's become a little bit easier to deliver a program like that. We saw a growth in our coaching program, so there is more support provided to the program. We saw a huge development in our managerial team. So we all started, it was very new, nobody did it, so we had to learn. Now we've done a lot of experiments, we tried different things, we kind of developed a model that works a little bit better than it was before, and we constantly improve. So I can't wait to welcome you all to X-Culture, and I hope that all of your questions will be answered in this session, and you will find it interesting and worthwhile. And I'll pass the microphone back to Rafael and Dr. B.
Thank you, Dr. Vas. Now I will ask Dr. B to join us and talk a little bit about her. She's the director of X-Culture Academy. So Dr. B.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Dr. Bamanis. I've been working with Dr. Vas for, 13 years now. Has it been 13 years? Yeah. No, 12 years. During COVID, Dr. Vas asked me if I could lead as director for Academy. And I'm happy to say that since we started Academy in this capacity, it has evolved tremendously, and it's become a great opportunity for students to really learn cultural values of other countries. I think that it's a great way to make friends. For example, a lot of our students today have never met each other in person, yet they are the best of friends. And I really enjoy working with the X Culture Academy team, because they've really made a community, a much bigger and better and stronger community than any of the X Culture, let's just say, houses, right? So because we have several programs, you guys know that we run the university one that Dr. Voss was talking about in the beginning, but the second one, the academy one, is meant strategically for middle school and high school students, and of course as young as 10-year-olds. And we've had, I think, a couple of very young students who were successful in accomplishing X Culture. Again, the whole idea of X Culture Academy for the young people is to really build up the resume to get into the university, to really highlight their initiatives, their talents, so that perhaps you guys can get scholarships and stipends to attend a university of your choice. And again, having that opportunity to learn how to become culturally aware, maybe traveling to other countries mentally and emotionally without ever really leaving, the comfort of your own home. Those are the kinds of things that we offer at Academy, and hopefully you'll find them as fun and interesting as the team that's in front of you right now. Raphael, is there anything else?
Thank you very much, Dr. B. So let's continue. I have a presentation for you guys, okay? Let me share my screen. So Dr. B and Dr. Voss talked a little bit about X Culture, right? So why would you choose X Culture? In X Culture, we have international experience, business consultant experience. You can expand your professional network, learn new knowledge and skills, improve your cultural intelligence, earn by the end of the program certificates and recommendation letters. I will show a little bit about it later. And you will get your resume stronger for new opportunities, okay? And also the most important one, as Dr. P mentioned, make new connections from all over the world. Also, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type in the chat or in the Q&A session, okay? We have coaches with us today that will help us to answer those questions, and myself as well. Okay, about us, Dr. Voss already talked. And here is the slide about our actual situation. So we are about to have more than 60,000 students.
Is it 66? Because according to my calculations, we've had over 80,000 now. Or are you counting? Yes.
No, I didn't count the last semester.
Yeah, maybe you don't. Yeah, maybe you don't have the last round, but at this time we are approaching, or maybe exceeded actually 80,000 students.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
actually saw 85,000.
85, yeah. I can. Yeah, so yeah, it's we're adding about 14,000 every year, so this must not include the last year.
Oh, that's awesome. So I need to update this slide. So more than 80,000 students and probably more than.
Not a big deal, but I am counting.
More than 12,000 teams, 600 universities, and more than 100 conferences.
Yeah. And on countries, again, if I may brag a little bit more, so that's by the residence of the students. So that's where they are at the time of participation. But if you look at the nationalities, so, the citizenship or where the students were raised, We pretty much have now, so there are like 187 countries according to the United Nations, and we have something like 162 last time I counted. So we haven't had students from North Korea, we haven't had students from some exotic countries, but pretty much all the world, as far as the citizenship goes, as far as the nationality goes, we've had students from those countries at some point probably. Although again, obviously we have more from the United States and Germany and India, sort of bigger countries, but we've had pretty much from everywhere.
Thank you. As Dr. Vaz said, Escucha Academy is for under 18 years old, but if you are a professional over 18, we also have another program that's called Professionals. I also will share the link for that application as well, okay? Let me move. And here is just our design.
May I make one more quick remark? So very importantly,
Sure.
Because sometimes students get confused. So we have the university program. That's for the students who come with professors through universities. And then we have two programs that fall under the X-Culture umbrella, but they're very different. So we have the program for teenagers and we have the program for professionals. But these are different programs designed for people of different ages. So if you are 16, 15, 17, you'll be with people of your own age, also same age in your team, and you will receive both training that is more designed for younger people, but then also additional activities that are also designed more for younger people, kind of communication more in Discord, more fun things, more developmental things, more things that you would do sort of at that age. And then the program for the professionals is kind of for more serious people with work experience, with managerial experience. So obviously the training is designed for people of that older age. And most of the developmental programs will be there will be still some fun things, but there will be also things that are more focused on the career. So not so much about, preparing for college, but rather preparing for the job as a manager or career in that advancement. So don't be scared that we talk about both of them here. So they are different programs. So if you are a younger kid or you're here for your kids, there will be age-appropriate training and program for the younger kids. And then if you're an older professional, again, you will not be in a daycare with kids. You will be with other serious executives and managers and workers, employees who are seeking to advance their career.
Right. And just to add to that, because I'm leading that team right now, we're actually developing it to where it's a lot of networking opportunities. Things that we would not be able to do with young students, for example, like we're actually inviting Coach Grefone, the vineyard that we had visited during one of our Global Business Week symposiums in Italy, and they'll be coming to talk about the vineyards in Tuscany, how they make wine and what the differences are in the types of grapes that they use for wine. So although that might be interesting for young people, that's not something that we teach the young people, but it is specifically going to be for the professionals. And that's something that we're going to open our program with. So a lot of exciting things to happen for the professional group.
There is a question, for example, from Rita. What if I'm 22 with no training? So Rita, you will not be sort of alone. So when we say professionals, you probably already worked a little bit somewhere. You probably had some jobs, even if you have been a student all this time. So it's no problem. So most of the professionals, including those who are older, most of the time they don't have training in international business. So they would have life experience, they would have work experience, but most of them would not be international business professionals. And so we will provide them with training related to international business, international business models, how to analyze foreign markets, how to enter in a foreign market, international marketing, international HR. You will receive that kind of training. But also we will provide additional training on how to use online collaboration tools like Zoom. Everybody knows how to use it now. But we also train in how to use Google Docs, Dropbox, Slack. So some of the tools that are very, very useful, but most people never use. And again, we know that many professionals have experience with those kinds of things, but most don't, or at least, many don't. And so no worries, we will provide 4 weeks of intensive training before you will be placed on an international team, and you will be fully prepared. And there will be additional training opportunities if you feel like you need more of this or that. It all will be provided. So no worries, you will be properly prepared.
Thank you. So as Dr. Vaz was just saying, we have the theoretical phase, right? When you will be prepared for the practical phase. So in week 1, you learn more about us, what is X culture, and how everything will go on throughout the semester. On week 2, you start to learn about managing global virtual teams, how to work in a global virtual teams, how to solve conflicts, how to motivate people, and those kind of things. On week 3, you will learn about online collaboration tools, so also about Zoom, Doodle, Skype, all the essential tools that you might use during the semester. And for week 4, you will learn international business, the basics of international business. So you will learn about SWOT analysis, how to marketing, prospect new countries to sell, and all these kind of things. Okay, and all the theoretical phase is for free. Okay, so if you want just to try it out, feel free to do it. Next, we have the practical phase. So it's going to be 8 weeks of international teams working to solve challenges from real companies. So you work on industry analysis, new market analysis, marketing, and remote pricing, all of the challenges that are providing for the real companies. Okay, so everything that you learn on the theoretical phase, you will put in practice in the practical phase. And at the end, you have the post-project phase. So 4 weeks, students will collaborate to present their suggestions on their reports. So you have time to explain what did you search and your results to the CEOs, to university professors, and all this, and all the coaches and X-Culture, and all X-Culture family. Okay. So certificates and recommendation letters. Here are the example of the certificates and what we will provide in the recommendation letter. The recommendation letter is very detailed, and maybe Vas can talk a little bit about it. Can you please, Dr. Vas?
Yes, so the certificates came about sort of in a strange way. So when we started the program, it was all like, us being practice oriented. It was all about the knowledge, the experience, the training. And to be honest, when we did it the first time, I didn't even think about the certificates and recommendation letters. We thought, okay, who needs the piece of paper? And then a lot of students were asking for recommendation letters. They said, I'm applying to college or I'm applying for a job, and can I get a recommendation letter from you? And so when you have several thousand students, it's a lot of recommendation letters to write. And so obviously very quickly we figured out that we need to provide something to everyone, because we cannot give it on one by one basis. And so very quickly we started issuing first certificates, like what Rafael showed on the picture. But then we also give every student a recommendation letter. It's a very detailed letter that will explain what you will have done. So what you do as an X-Culture student, that you communicate with people from all around the world, that you deal with cultural differences, language differences, that you have to communicate online, that you have to solve a serious problem, that you have a real client, and you serve as a consultant to this client, and you solve problems, and you do research, and you present your work, and you write a report. So all of that is detailed in the letter. And then obviously we either recommend you for a job or for a college if you did well. And to be honest, there are always a few, very few, but there are sometimes a few students who didn't do so well. And so in good conscience, I cannot write a recommendation letter maybe to someone who wasn't as productive, but most people do pretty well. And so in addition to that, your final package will also include your personal performance review. So that's for you and you only. And it's sort of brutally honest and very detailed. And that's where you will see how your performance indicators compare to the rest of the group. So we track your performance very rigorously. So there are a total of something like 117 data points that we look at, such as your peer evaluations, your leadership, your communication skills, the quality of work you produce, your timeliness, things like that. And so we kind of rank all of the students. We don't show those numbers publicly. Like you don't want to know that you are, 127 out of, 5,000 or whatever the number of the students in your cohort is, but we will give you those numbers. So this way you will know how you compare it to everybody else, how well you did, where the areas are where you excel, and maybe that's where you should make your career with the focus on those tasks, but also maybe there are some areas where you perhaps need improvement. And so the letter provides some guidance on where you perhaps need a little bit more training, and then how you can improve your skills in that specific area. So you'll get the detailed final documentation or review package for you, so that you can sort of know where you are great, know where you still need training, and use that information to grow professionally.
Thank you very much.
So guys, there's a question here, and I want to answer it live, right? Are there honors and awards which can be earned during the program? And I think that this would be a good time for us to talk about college bound. So in this spring,
there are college bound. You go ahead with that, and we also have best team award. We have the best students. We have the symposia. But let's talk about college bound. Yes.
Okay. So in the springtime, and it's not for the fall, because we're still working out the details. But in the springtime, there is a university that is going to be awarding college credit hours for college bound students. So you would have to be in the age of 16 to 18. You would register as a student at this university, and then they will actually be working with us through our platform. So not only will you be earning your letter of recommendation and your certificate of completion for X-Culture Academy, but you would also be given up to 3 semester hours of having attended an American university. Of course, the price is different.
And to most students, they don't understand what semester hours and credit hours are. You basically will take a college course. So when you go to a university, especially if you do it in the United States or in Canada, you essentially have completed one of, let's say, 25 or 30 courses that you need to complete to get your bachelor's degree. So you complete one full course. By doing X-Culture, you get credit from the university for that course.
And not only that, but once you complete that class, let's say you don't want to attend that specific university, you can actually request for a transcript from that university where you can potentially transfer those credits to another institution. So that would be another option. It's a little bit more, it's a little costly because we have to pay the university, or that they have to pay for the credentialing and the credit hours, but it's actually much cheaper to go that way, because it's not quite as expensive as attending the university as a university student. So.
But also on the topic of merits, awards, badges. X-Culture is a learning program, but it's also a competition. And so we have about 1,000 teams every semester, and we do select basically the best teams. So there will be the best team for each client. So out of 1,000 teams, usually it's 1 per client. So there will be about 15 best teams. But sometimes there are like a type, maybe 2 or sometimes even 3 teams did such a great job that it's impossible to select one best. So there may be up to 20, 25 best teams, and those will be automatically invited to the X-Culture Symposium. So again, Rafael probably will be talking in more detail in a minute about this, but since 2013, we started bringing our students to major conferences at the Academy of Management and Academy of International Business. And so first, our very first X-Culture Symposium was as part of the Academy of International Business Conference in Miami, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, it was actually at that time. And so we started with bringing about 50 students to these conferences. But then at some point, so many X-Culture students, first, so many participated in the project, but then so many wanted to participate in the symposia that we decided, Dr. B actually stepped up and said, I can organize a separate event for X-Culture students only. And so now we do 2 of them every year. So one in the fall, this year it will be in Panama City in 2 months, in Panama City, Florida. So in the United States, it's the name of the city is Panama City. So it's near Miami in Florida, sort of doesn't really matter, in Florida. And so to that event, we usually bring about 50 students. And then in summer, we have a bigger event. So you see here some of the photos with 150 students, and usually about 50 professors come to this event as well. And so we had the last one was in Canada. Before that, it was in Italy. Before that, it was in Miami, the United States. And the smaller ones are usually in the United States. Like this time it will be in Florida. Last time it was in Texas, San Antonio. Before that, it was in Nashville, Tennessee, Washington, DC. So cities like that. And so usually only the best of the best are invited to those events. So we have a limited number of spots. And so, as I said, we have about 50 for the fall and 150 for the summer event. And so usually you have a reasonable chance of being invited if you do well. So it's not like you have to be only in the best team, but you have to show pretty good performance results. And so that's your sort of badge as well. And then also the best of the best students will be invited to become coaches for the next generation of X-Culture students. Again, we can talk a little bit more about it, but we would have about 80 or so students from the thousands who participated before who now become coaches, mentors, managers for these teams. And so they help us run the program. But at the same time, they also learn new skills as, how to be a coach, a manager, a supervisor, a mentor. And so coaches do all kinds of cool things, such as they organize webinars, they provide training, they provide feedback, they resolve conflicts, they do all kinds of things that even sometimes experienced managers haven't done. And so gain this valuable experience in that capacity as well. And again, this is by invitation only. And so that's your sort of badge or recognition of sorts as well.
So, and just to add to that, Raphael, Tejas, Louisa, Layonne, and Liam are all coaches. Raphael, of course, has been doing this so long that we actually hired him to help us run the program. But this is where you get started. If you want to do something like this, this is where you get started to build on your skills. And eventually, we actually give you guys opportunities to develop all sorts of new programs. So for example, the art show that we have for Academy every semester was actually developed by Ania. Tejas and one of our former coaches created a social media platform that now we use. I don't even know which one it is this year, Tejas, because he likes to change it to the best one. And again,
whatever's the latest and the best.
Whatever the latest and greatest is.
This year we're continuing with Discord, and more on that later on for you guys.
Okay. So again, the idea is that once you prove yourself to be reliable, hard worker, great work ethics, and you join our coaching program, once you go through the training, you also have all sorts of opportunities to be creative and entrepreneurial, because we are very open to, use our program as a testing grounds to, a lot of your ideas.
Thank you.
Raphael, can I take 1 second? There is a very lively discussion going on in the comments.
Sure.
So students post where they are geographically. So if you haven't done so yet, you can add to this and what time zone they are in. So, and I'm going to read some of the countries that I see here. So we have a bunch of people from the United States, Pakistan, Brazil, India, Nigeria, Ukraine, Slava Ukraini, Romania, Myanmar. So there are so many, Ghana. So that's just too many countries here. So Egypt, Germany, very nice. Indonesia, so all kinds of countries here, and then also the Philippines.
Mabuhay from the Philippines. I know it's the middle of the night for you guys, so thank you for coming.
West Africa, South Africa, a bunch of European countries. And then I also asked who's in the latest time zone. So I had to wake up at 6 a.m. here on the West Coast USA. So for me, that's a very, very early hour. So like a bunch of people here said that it's like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in their time zone, nothing. But then we also have a few people I see from Singapore where it's approaching like it's late night. And then I think I saw New Zealand somewhere, so also approaching midnight. So thank you so much for staying up so late. And so if your country, so I see a bunch of new countries just have been added, Oman. So if you are Tunisia, so if you are in a country that hasn't been named yet, put it in the list. We're interested to know where you guys come from.
Egypt.
So it's very nice.
Egypt, 3 p.m.
Yeah,
So
that's a comfortable hour, but at 3 a.m.
I'm actually in Miami, Florida. There are palm trees, birds are chirping. It's 9:30 in the morning. So it's a beautiful day here in Miami. But this is what you guys, one of the things that you guys are going to get to learn is how to work collaboratively with people from all over the world. You get to see what it looks like outside. You get to learn what they're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get to, see what their family units are like and really become culturally aware and almost like actively learn what it's like to come from that country.
Bukhari is very particular. So everybody says like 6 p.m., 3 p.m. and Bukhari, no, 1:38 p.m. So yeah, you should have added seconds as well. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me just continue with the presentation. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so besides all the work that you guys are going to do throughout the semester, we also have optional activities for you, okay? So we have cooking class that are can be presented by a student, a virtual tour that can also be presented by one of the students. We have a gincana, which is a challenge in groups that will be run by Tejas. We will have the art program. So if you like art, you can showcase your art in our Discord server here that we will talk as well. We also have a peace project that is a space to just chill and relax. That's run by Layonne. And our social media platforms, we will have a Discord and also Telegram. If you guys want to join us, just make sure to apply, okay? We will only accept people that are our students, okay? During this semester, we also have a couple of guest speakers. So international professionals will share their experience and their knowledge. And now I will ask former ex-culture participants to talk a little bit about their experience, okay? So first, Layonne, can you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your experience?
All right, so we're going to do it in a slightly different format compared to what is on the slide. So we'll be doing a question and answer round. So first, let us begin by introducing ourselves. I am joined by...
Hey everyone, my name is Layonne Maspero. I am 18 years old. I am from South Africa and I am an Ex-Culture Academy coordinator.
Hi everyone, my name is Tejas Chakrabarti. I am an Ex-Culture Academy admin member. I'm from India and it's lovely to see you guys here today. So let's begin. Okay, so first things first, Layonne, I want to ask you, what was one thing about Ex-Culture and the community that we have inculcated that attracted you the most before you signed up?
To be honest, I would say just the diverse community that Ex-Culture has, and that literally anyone, no matter where you're from and who you are, what your culture is, everyone is a part of the family. And I just love the fact that it's so open and it's literally a family. Ex-Culture is my family. And, I couldn't not join, basically.
That's beautiful. And I feel like the same reason applies to me to an extent. So we will talk about global virtual teams a little bit more, but basically they're the teams that you will be working with over the course of the practical phase. So Layonne, could you talk a little bit about, using 3 words, how your global virtual team experience went?
Yeah, so okay. Narrowing it down to 3 words is very challenging because it was extremely diverse in all manners. I would say it was challenging, but the good kind of challenging. It pushed me out of my comfort zone. It was also innovative. You have to kind of think in the moment and really adapt and flow to the with the program rather, and also extremely fun. Everything within Ex-Culture Academy is also about having fun, as Rafael just mentioned. There's work, but there's also a lot of fun involved.
Amazing. And let's move on to the next question. How would you say that the transition from the theory phase to the practical phase was for you?
It was scary, especially because I had no idea anything about business, etc. However, I was really grateful because all the tools that I'd learned in the theoretical phase, I was able to implement and further improve when I was in the practical phase. So I know it will at first seem very scary, but honestly, just throw yourself into it and you have so many people holding your hand along the way and guiding you. So
That's beautiful. Okay, moving on to the next question. What was one memory that you developed alongside your teammates?
it would probably be two actually. The first one being when we first joined, it was our first team meeting and everyone was sitting very awkwardly and silently, like we all just trying to pretend the others didn't exist because it was extremely awkward. But then towards the end of the semester when we were working on our report, I think we had about a 5-hour meeting and we were all just chatting and working on the reports, etc. So it was actually really nice seeing how we started off like complete strangers and then we went through this whole beautiful journey and now, lifelong friends basically.
That's wonderful. I honestly share so many of the same memories because that semester as a student was truly very remarkable. And finally, what was your biggest takeaway from the practical phase and the reason you signed up for coaching?
I would say, well, number one, I just fell in love with X culture. I was not going to end my journey that fast and I never plan on ending it. And then also it was just, I wanted to grow my skills more and also learn to trust myself. So I think taking all the skills I'd learned as a student into being a coach, I just really wanted to test myself and see if I was capable of that.
Beautiful. All right, so now we'll be turning the tables and now she's going to be asking me a few questions so that you guys can get to know about my experience as well.
Okay, yes. So first question for you. What skills did you learn as a student?
I feel like there were a lot of skills that I developed as a student. One of the most important ones being time management. I feel like a lot of y'all have asked this question in the Q&A section. Oh, will we be able to manage our time with our school starting, with our extracurriculars, the co-curriculars, our exams, etc., etc. That is a very big concern. And the truth is that you will be educated on how to manage and coordinate your time better over the course of the semester. And the better you learn, the better you will be able to do it. Truth be told, there is no such concept of like being able to fully manage your time perfectly and also being in a situation where you can't manage it at all. It comes from within. And I feel like that is something that you will develop over the course of the few weeks in the practical phase.
I definitely agree. When I first joined, my time management was, let's not even go there, horrible,
Exactly.
but now it's okay.
Exactly.
What was the most challenging part of being a student for you?
I feel like alongside time management, obviously, because that was a skill that I had to develop, I consider time zone differences to be a challenge for me, but it was a healthy challenge because we had students from all over the world. In my team in itself, I had students from the United States of America and from Singapore. So for those of you who don't know, there is a 12-hour difference between them currently. So that is an extreme difference because when one member wakes up, the other one goes off to sleep. So it's really difficult to coordinate between the two. However, it is something that you will develop over time, as it will be the role of those who are in between these two countries to sort of like try to coordinate with the teammates. And it is a skill that you will learn through your theory phase as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What was your most memorable experience being a student?
I feel like it was the time crunch towards the last few weeks, because while all of us say that we're going to plan everything out, and the way X Culture flows, it gives you a step-by-step program, allowing you to sort of develop your reports and your findings over the course of the 12 weeks in such a way that it doesn't become too burdening or too demanding. Frankly, we ask the students for only a few hours every single week committed to X Culture, which is going to be not taking away or detracting from their school lives and their social lives. However, at the end of the day, a lot of us do struggle with time and a lot of us do procrastinate. But in those moments wherein you're under pressure and you're forced to sort of work until the deadline is like achieved and completed, you will also be able to get to know your teammates better and you'll be able to work more effectively because everything will be very goal oriented.
Yeah, definitely. And then what do you wish you had done differently as a student?
Okay, so as you guys might have seen a few minutes back, we have a lot of cultural and co-curricular related activities. For example, we have different cooking classes, virtual tours, We have games on Discord, which will appeal to all of my gaming nerds and all of my tech nerds as well. We have photography competitions, art competitions, a plethora of activities. I was not able to take this up in my semester purely because I just did not sort of have the energy to do so. But I do encourage all of you guys to do this semester because it's truly going to broaden your horizons unlike anything. Getting to know people is the crux of X culture. It's the focus. As we have a question in the Q&A, and I'll just try to take some more time to answer that. What is the purpose of X culture? Now, to everyone, X culture and the community means something different. For some of us, it meant a business program, but I can assure you that you will be learning the true value of X culture as the program progresses. One important thing is that X culture is a program of the people. It is a program wherein you get to know each other, learn about different cultures, and learn a variety of skills while that is happening. So these will extend to multiple domains such as science, arts, culture, etc. Okay, and I can see that there is another question from Ginny in the Q&A. Don't worry, Ginny. We're answering your question right about now. And yes, Layonne, can we continue with the Q&A?
Yes, last question from me. Why did you become a coach?
I became a coach because I felt like I, weirdly enough, owed something to this program because I got so much from this place. I got friends. I got the ability to sort of interact with other people. I got the ability to sort of expand my CV. And I got a fantastic recommendation letter, which I can use to apply to any college I want. However, with that, I also felt like I owed the community the same experience and the same knowledge. And so therefore, I joined the program in order to sort of pass this on to the rest of the students.
I definitely agree with you. And that's a wrap from us. I hope
Can I ask you an interview question, both of you?
Sure.
So imagine that I invented a time machine. No, not a time machine. So you cannot travel back in time, but you can send a message back in time. And so it goes back to like 2017, so like 5 years back in time. So what message would you send to yourself? What you wish you knew at that time that you know now? But you cannot say buy Bitcoin. So that's a good advice, but yeah.
I mean, Bitcoin's crashed, so I don't think that's a wise.
Well, you could send the message buy Bitcoin and sell it when it's
Sell it off,
65,000. But no, something more sort of on a kind of career development type of deal, or maybe you know, more practical action deal.
Layonne, do you want to go first?
Okay, sure. To be honest, mine's kind of simple, but for me, it affected me a lot. I would say just trust myself. Way back then, I was very like I lacked confidence. I didn't believe in myself, etc. And X culture is actually one of the things that helped me gain my confidence, etc. Well, but yeah, honestly, I would just say I lost out on quite a few opportunities because I didn't have that confidence or self-trust. So that's the message I would tell myself: is just trust myself. So.
And can I just interject a little bit, because Layonne and I have been working on this. And Layonne, how long have you been with us? 4 years, right?
Since 2019. So
okay, 3 years. So I've had the pleasure of watching both Layonne and Tejas grow into these wonderful humans. Not that you weren't wonderful before, but like Layonne said, that there was a lot of talent that wasn't being brought to the surface. And she was so shy, and you know, she wasn't very she was very introverted, and she wasn't very verbal, right? And she is now completely the opposite direction, and in fact one of our strongest leaders actually for Academy. Tejas, what I said about Tejas was that if we don't get Tejas in some kind of leadership position, he's going to do something terrible. So we have to balance because he's so bright and brilliant, right? So we said, okay.
So he either becomes a billionaire and president of a large country, or an evil genius who will rule the world.
Yes, exactly. So it's like we want him to become this, you know, fabulous CEO of a company or a president of a country, and we want to help you do that. We want to help him do that. And again, when we got Tejas, you are now how old?
I'm 16.
And you were with us when you were 13, 14? 12. Ay, Dios mío. Can you imagine, right? We got to watch him grow into this amazing person. And I know when I first met Tejas as a coach, I thought, we have to help him mold into this amazing, professional that he's going to become someday. And that's what we're doing. We're hoping that we're doing that. So congratulations to these two people. Again, very, very impressed by their evolution and their growth.
Yeah, I actually bet on Layonne becoming the president. The world needs, wisdom and measured, stable, reliable, kind. So nothing against Tejas, but we've had enough leaders who are, yeah, let's do it, like a little too energetic for my taste. So I actually prefer someone who is confident and
Dr. Voss,
reliable. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, Raphael is going to give us a real good lecture later on because we are running his schedule off the ground.
And by the way, I must run. So we have a 7 a.m. event here with professors. So I'll keep my, the microphone in my ear, but I'll need to leave, check out in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vas. So
Thank you so
next,
much, guys. Yeah.
oh, sorry. You can go,
continue,
Tejas.
please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tejas, Layonne, Dr. B, Dr. Vas. Now we will have a little game that's going to be run by two of our coaches. So can you please come out, Leah and Luisa?
Hi, can you share the screen?
Wait a minute, yes.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes,
Yes.
I think it's good. Yep.
You guys can
so-
introduce yourself and you can start again, okay?
Hello, everyone. My name is Liam Hoffman. I am German and American, but I live right now in Indianapolis in the United States. I'm an ex-culture coach. This will be my second semester as a coach. And no offense to everyone who has been speaking, but now we're going to play a little game and get a little movement and hopefully some fun. Luisa, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Louise van der Horst. I'm one of the senior coaches for our academy, and this game is also something we do like in our regular webinars, so you can get a little bit of a taste of our fun activities as well.
Where are you from, Louisa?
Oh, I forgot that, from the Netherlands.
And what are you studying right now, Louisa?
I study law and society.
At the University of Amsterdam.
Yes.
All right. So yes, he's already moved the screen. So we'll start with the first question. So we've kind of already done this, but everyone in the chat just put where you're from if you haven't already, and also put what your country is famous for. So if you already said what country you're from, also put your country again, and then just say when people think of your country, what do they think of, or what is it famous for? And then I will kind of read off some of these responses as they come in, if they come in. So Kevin said Indonesia is famous for rendang. Pakistan is famous for biryani. India, oh my gosh, there they come. Brazil is famous for soccer and samba. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I think Germany, the last time we played, a little bit better, 7-1.
They have 5 World Cups, this thing.
Yes, but I think after 2014, we all know Germany, 7-1, a little bit better.
Fair.
Egypt said the pyramids. Germany is famous for beer. Yeah. Pakistan is also famous for cricket. Romania, mythology. Germany, cars. Yes. Ukraine is famous for borscht. Dominica, famous for the rivers. Very cool. Famous for food, Pakistan. Yeah. So, Raphael, if you want to move the slide and we get on to the next question, but you guys can keep saying the, responses. So this one is a little bit more of like a trivia question. So just answer choices are A, B, C, and D, for the different countries. Just put in the chat which letter you think is the right answer. So in which culture is a handshake considered rude? So you can put any of the letters. Lots of debate, it seems like. Someone said E. That's not an answer choice, but good job. Okay.
Maybe
So
there is another choice that they thinking of.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations to everyone who said B. The answer choice is China. So in China, it's normal to bow instead of shake hands. So shaking hands is not really like culturally what they do. So it's considered as rude. And you can move on to the next question, Raphael. Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is, if a foreigner asks you about your country, what is the first thing you would say to them? What do you want them to know about your country? Put it in the chat.
It doesn't need to be what they are famous for, right? It's just what would you say?
Yes, what do you want them to know? For example, I want them to know that yes, Amsterdam is a great city, but we have a lot of other places you should definitely try and visit as well.
So while you guys are waiting for your answers, there's a question here. What do you get from X Culture? Question to the founders of X Culture Academy. So as you know, Dr. Voss is the founder of X Culture Academy, and I'm director, so I'll answer this. We actually don't get anything from financially anyway, from running these programs. All the programs that we help run or we have developed are all volunteer for all of the professors who have participated in both X Culture Virtual, which is the university one, and X Culture Academy. So for all of your professors and all of your founders, and most of the senior coaches, we are all here as volunteers.
Okay, so now I will read some of the answers. Okay, so for example, Ghana is very hospitable, and Liam says from the United States, come visit the other cities than New York, so try Miami or Los Angeles. And the Philippines are known for being pranksters. And I also see, I love how Brazilians are warm people. And I also see Indians are known for doing yoga and eating spicy foods. And for the last one, as for Myanmar, you should visit, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, Beigan. Okay, so Liam, you can now go to the next question.
Okay, so this question is a little bit more business oriented, kind of testing your business knowledge. So we have two videos for you, the two advertisements from the same company, but they're released in two different countries. So we're going to watch both of those, and it is your job to guess which two countries you think like the videos are for. So Raphael, if you could play the first one.
10 plastics are fantastic. It's like a volcano is in your mouth when it blasts off and you shoot into the air, but you love it. There's a crocodile that bites back, biting your tongue. Nipping. Nipping. People in my mouth are a crazy part of life. Oh. They make you go, ugh. Oh, yeah. It's too tangy for me. You're a wimp, you can't handle it.
Okay, thank you. And the second video looks like it might have been taken off of YouTube. So
yeah, it seems like it's not working anymore.
it was working like 2 days ago. That's really strange. So I guess instead of guessing both countries, you're just gonna guess which one you think the first one was for. So you know, put your same thing, answer choices, A, B, C, or D. If Raphael, could you share the screen again, please? Or are you trying to get the video?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
think.
for the video. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's fine. I think they took it off for some reason, but that happened very recently. So congratulations to everyone who said C. That was a correct answer choice. So the first video was for the United Kingdom, the UK. The second one, which we were supposed to show, was for Japan, but you know, it doesn't work anymore for some reason. So congratulations to everyone who said C.
Okay, so now we have a question more related to agriculture and working in teams. So what characteristics do you think a great team member should have? Answer them in the chat, please.
Liam, we can't see your screen. Could you just like stop sharing and reshare again? Yeah, perfect. Perfect. We got it back.
Okay, I see some questions. I see empathy, ability to understand and empathy again, listening skills, kindness, friendliness, communication, responsible.
Also, 1 second, sorry for interrupting you. But like, if you guys go to the Q&A section, there's also another testimonial from one of our ex-students who's joining back this semester. Hey, Robert, we all like remember you very well at X Culture. Lovely to have you back, and you guys can go through his wonderful like testimonial because it truly summed up the entire semester for all of us that time. And yeah, sorry for the interruption.
No problem. I also see problem-solving skills, being tolerant, open-minded, leading and cooperation, and again, I see listening. So I think that are all very good answers, and you will definitely learn some of those skills in X Culture. Okay, let's go to the next question with Liam.
All right, thank you. So this question is, again, kind of more X-Culture oriented. What is the best way to bond with teammates in a global virtual team? So, or GVT, these are the teams that you were working with in X-Culture. So again, you know, read the answer choices, A, B, or C, this time 3 answer choices, and put your answer or your choice in the chat. Yeah, seems to be pretty good consensus that the answer choice is C. Thankfully, everyone said C, and didn't choose any of the other answer choices. But yes, trying to learn about your teammates and asking questions about them or about the country where they're from is definitely the best way to bond and learn about the teammates that you're working with. There you go.
Okay, so now we have a question about food, because in X Culture we also have a lot of food-related activities. So we have virtual picnics, and we have cooking classes. So what is, in your opinion, the best dish in your country? I see some really tasty dishes coming in. I see butter naan, dinner, couscous, nasi padang, biryani, jollof rice, kaloo soup, jam and egg sauce, rice and curry. I see a lot of options, so I can't say them all. I see currywurst, that's German, I think, hamburgers, and I see butter naan again from India. So thank you so much for all your responses, and the rest you can read in the chat because there are definitely some tasty options in there.
So thank you, Liam. Thank you, Luisa. It's This was a wonderful game. Thank you very much for doing it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rafael.
Okay. So now we will talk about, wait a minute. Okay. So now we will talk about the application process, okay? I noticed that you guys have a couple of questions regarding that. So you guys can see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So here, as you can see in our website, there is the application button, apply now. You can just click there and it will open the application. If you also want, I will share the link right now in the chat. So if you didn't apply yet, you can now. Wait a minute. So here's the application, okay? And if you guys want to check, you can check the website as well. Okay. Whenever you, the application is for our next semester, so August 20 to December 17. Okay. Our first official event will be on August 20. So make sure to join us by then, okay? So whenever you start the application, you can choose to apply as a group, teacher or parent, a group for 3 or more. As a parent, if you are, there is a child between 14 to 16, or you can apply by yourself if you are 16 to 18 years old, okay? During the application, you find our fees. So the theoretical phase, as I said, is for free. So if you want just to try out, just to understand how it is agriculture, feel free to apply and take the theoretical phase, okay? For the practical phase and reflection phase, we have a fee for the entire semester, okay? So individuals, so it's $256, and for groups of 3 or 30 people, it's for $475. We also offer discounts up to $200 for individuals and up to $300 for groups, okay? More information you will find during the application process. There you will find the option to apply for stipends, okay? We usually offer for all individuals that come from developed countries, so you will need to pay at least $56, okay? And whenever we accept this application, we also request a couple of documents from you. So a recommendation letter from your teachers and also your grades from previous semester, okay? More information will be shared whenever you apply, okay? And here are the ways that you guys can contact us. So let me also share the links if you guys have any questions. Where is the chat? Okay, here's the chat. You can send a message on our email. There is our website, YouTube. You can also send a message on Facebook or Instagram, okay? Later during the program, whenever you apply, we will also share our Discord and Telegram links, so you can join us as well, okay? And that's it. Do you guys have any questions? Is everything clear? Any questions?
Looks like it's just you, me, Louise, and Tejas. So I hope that you guys are interested. And if you have further questions, of course, you can go ahead and email us at the X-Culture link that Raphael provided. I hope that you, consider joining our program. And it really is a life-altering experience. It helps you grow in ways that you would not grow otherwise. And it does give you access to people of like-minded souls that will help you understand things in ways that I don't know, it's just such a phenomenal experience that I really hope that you guys take into consideration the potential that you can gain from this for signing up and joining X Culture Academy and professionals with us.
There is one question. My question is, how is X Culture different from the other kind of similar program? What's its uniqueness?
Well, okay, so let me answer that question. So I am a professor of international business and I've been teaching 24 years. There is no program similar to this that I've ever come across with this much touch point and this much interaction. And for the fee that we charge, actually the fee that we charge is minimal in comparison to the other organizations. And let me tell you just a few of the things that really highlight this program versus others. First of all, we're using real life business challenges from real organizations from all over the world who come to us because they really need your help. Second thing is that you have access to students from all over the world in the same age group, working in different platforms. You guys are actually free to choose what freeware you can use to write your projects, for example. You can choose whatever chat program you use, what social media program you use, but it's a collective choice, right? And through this interaction with students from all over the world, you gain insight that you would not learn in a normal classroom or in a normal school environment. You're learning things live up to the minute in a daily life of a person. And I think the third thing that you will gain value from is the international business teachings, because you are being taught not just by, 3 international business professors. This is a program that's been designed by hundreds of international business professors. And we've done it over and over to where we've teased out all of the errors, right? Now, we're not saying that this is an easy project. It's a very challenging project, but it is in the challenge where you actually grow the most. And in fact, Dr. Voss and I always say, we prefer that you guys go through a challenging X Culture experience, because what we've been able to measure is the growth and learning is exponentially more when you go through those challenges. So again, very unique, very special. And I can't even tell you how much from years of doing this, how many letters, how many messages, how many emails I've received from students from all over the world saying that it's really changed their lives. And again, all of the professors and most, I want to say 99% of the people who run this program are all volunteers. We don't do this because we make money. We do this because we want to make the world a better place. And we want you to join us because we are a collective force. And if we are strong and we are progressive, we together will make the world a better place. 85,000 students have gone through this program, and we want to keep going and going and going and going.
Thank you very much, Dr. B. So I applied the link through Instagram. What's the difference between that? If the Instagram that you applied for is an application process, so it's the same one, because we had two ads going on Instagram. There were one for the open house and the other for the application itself. So probably you choose the application one, right? If you didn't, just make sure to apply in the link that I shared. Okay. I didn't find the option of stipends in the application. I think that I received an email from Marianne, so you don't need to worry at all. I remember your name, so I'm considering for the stipend, so do not worry.
And remember that the stipends are really, first of all, remember that we have to run a program and we have fees that we have to pay. But the stipends are really meant for students who are from underdeveloped countries. So for example, sub-Saharan African countries, and who can prove that they are need-based, and also that they can come up with 2 letters of recommendation and a credentialing, right? So you have to have a transcript from your school, for example, showing that you have the academic capacity for us to give you these stipends. So the stipend is really like a scholarship, and we have a very limited number that we give out. So, you know, don't think that, you know, just because you apply for the stipend that you're going to get it, right? There, you need to be able to meet some of the criteria that we've posted in the application.
Yes. Last question, so we can end the session. Shahihnas, I'm sorry if I'm saying wrong. Can I contact someone? Yes, you can send an email to academy@x-culture.org. Okay, I'll be answering your question. So
one more thing,
yes.
for those of you guys who have been accepted, just stay tuned, because you will now start receiving for the fall term instructions on how to prepare to attend X-Culture Academy. So if you've been accepted, just stay tuned. We do it all together as a cohort, so that we're not sending out one email at a time. We do it together collectively. So we know that you're here. We're going to be starting soon. So apply, register, contact us if you have questions. And I hope that you do decide to join our community of like-minded souls to make the world a better place.
Yeah, make sure to apply as soon as possible. We will have the official start on August 20, okay? So we will be accepting applications just for more 2 weeks. And also, if you're already applied, we will have international picnic next weekend, and we will send a mail about that, okay? It's just to be a friendly meeting, just to know people and talk a little bit, okay? So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for today, and I hope to see you guys on August 20. Okay. Thank you, everyone who participated. Thank Dr. B, Luisa, Tejas. See you.
Bye,
Peace and love,
guys.
guys. Bye, everyone.